Hello and welcome back to another video. It's been a while, but we're going to be doing this. This is going to be a regular thing from now on. I'm just going to be doing a lot of magic stuff because, magic is fun. Today, I got Torg with us, and we're going to have part 1 to this video over on his channel. There will be a link in the description below. Please go check it out. Go sub to Torg, show him some love. But today, I'm going to be showing Torg some pretty good Magic the Gathering cards. Torg is a Yu-Gi-Oh enthusiast and doesn't really know a whole lot about Magic. But we're gonna be showing him some cards that I personally consider to be pretty good. Now I'm gonna be giving him the context for all of this as if it was Commander, because Standard has a lot of ruling when it comes to like newer cards and older cards that I'd rather not get into, but I'm gonna make him guess the price of the card. I'm going to make him guess if it's banned or not in Commander, keep that in mind, and I'm going to have him guess if I play the card. Now, a little bit of context for Commander, Torg. In Standard, you can run any card that is legal in Standard. You can run 4 of each copy of card.
4?
Now, yeah, 4 of any. And if you have 2 legendaries, because there's a difference between a legendary card and a regular card, you can only run 1 of the same name card if it's legendary on the field at one time.
Okay.
But if it's not legendary, you can run all 4 if you draw them. Now in Commander, you can only have 1 of each card in your deck. It doesn't matter if it's legendary or not, you can only run 1. Alright,
got it.
So we're going to go ahead and get started here. And the very first card I have for you is Kalia of the Vast. I'm going to be sending it now. This card says it's flying. It's a legendary creature. It is 4 mana cost, and I'll explain that here in a second. It's a 2/2. I'll explain that in a second too. And it says whenever Kalia of the Vast attacks an opponent, you may put an angel, demon, or dragon creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking that opponent. Now, real quick, the mana cost at the very top right, it has a 1, a white, a black, and a red. So Magic has this thing called the color wheel, and the color wheel, each color represents something. So it's a very complicated thing, but I'm going to give you the most basic way to put it. White is unity, black is selfishness, red is speed, green is growth, and blue is knowledge. So you have these things in Magic called land, and you can only play 1 land per turn, but you tap the land to give you mana. So for example, if I wanted to play this Kalia, I would have to tap 1 red mana, 1 black mana, and 1 white mana, and then 1 of any color in order to summon this creature. The 2/2 at the very bottom, that's its power and toughness. Power means that's the amount of damage it will do when it attacks, and toughness is how much damage this creature can take before it dies. If it hits 0, it's dead. In Commander, you start with 40 health.
40? Just 40?
Yep.
Wait, and what's her attack?
Her attack is 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, what do you think about this card?
I feel like it's too broken because you summon another creature or like another monster. I feel like it's too easy to summon because it costs 1. But the attack is not that high, so probably it brings another monster that has higher attack, right?
So yeah, typically in Magic, angels, demons, and dragons tend to be pretty strong. They'll be pretty expensive, and I'll show you some here in a little bit. But yeah, no, so this used to be considered a really, really good card. It's probably still considered a good card. This used to be one of the most popular commanders when she came out. Right now, I don't know how much her deck costs, but her deck at one point was over $500 for the deck.
Damn.
Yeah, so guess the price of this specific card.
Like, is there like rarity in Magic?
Yeah, so you see this little symbol that's like in the middle, right next to Human Cleric? It's like a little
Yeah.
orange symbol. Okay, so that's its
Yeah.
rarity. Um, if it's just black, it'll be common. If it's
Okay.
like a white, then it'll be uncommon. And then if it's gray, that means it's I hold on. I am like So, okay, red, which is what this is, it means it's mythic rare, gold means it's rare, and then silver is like, maybe silver's uncommon? I might have a couple of these backwards.
Okay.
But yeah, so the red is mythic rare, that's the highest rarity.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So, but you say the card is like it's no longer like in demand. People really don't care much for this card anymore.
I mean, it's still pretty good. I'd say there are probably still people out there that are wanting this card, but I doubt this card is like super high meta now. I'm pretty sure like there are more busted commanders now.
I'll say so if it's that busted, I'll say I mean no. You said that like a lot of people asking for this card. I'll say between $10 and $20.
Yeah, she's a little outdated. Oh, real quick, a little bit of context. In Commander, you have your 99 cards, and then your Commander, which has to be a legendary creature, sits on the side in the command zone, and you can summon it at any time as long as you have the mana. And every time it dies,
Oh, yeah.
you have to pay 2 extra to summon it. So this would be a Commander. Right now, she sits at $2.50.
What?
Yup. Now, do you think she is
Okay.
banned?
No.
Yeah, no, she's not banned.
Yeah.
Now, do you think I play this card?
So she's not. I mean, you may put an angel, demon, or dragon. I think you play the card because it has an angel.
Yeah, this is my second favorite commander deck of all time. It's because I main angel, so yes, I definitely
Yeah.
run this as a commander. All right,
Yep.
you ready for the next one?
Yep.
All right, so this next one, where did I put it? There it is. This is called... Did it not go? I said go. Why is it not doing it?
Oh no.
There it goes. Okay. This is called Cauldron of Eternity. It says this spell costs 2 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. When a creature you control dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library. You can tap 2 and a black and tap it, and you can pay 2 life, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only time you could cast a sorcery. Now, keep in mind, its mana cost is 10 of any color and then 2 black.
10, that's a lot, right?
Yeah, that would be considered a lot of mana. Considering Kalia only cost 4 in total. This is 12.
Wow, okay. So cost to creature card in your graveyard. Like the question is, do you play it or no?
No, I don't play it.
I don't think this card is banned.
It is not banned, no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty good card if you can get it out. The problem is you have to get it out, and it's 12 mana. But it's a pretty good card. It's got a lot of like graveyard play. It basically makes it to where it's going to be really hard to mill that person out.
Yep.
But I'd say that's a pretty good card. Being able to pay 3 mana and 2 life to return any creature from your graveyard directly to the battlefield, that's pretty good. How much do you think it costs?
This is like a continuous monster reborn.
Yeah, basically, as long as you have the mana and the life to pay for it.
Okay. How much do I think it costs? This is a new card or like an old card?
It's not new, but it's not old. Or at least I don't think it is. This specific the set that's on this, because you remember I was talking about the rarity?
Yeah.
So the rarity tells you what set that card is from. Now you can have cards that are older be printed into newer sets, but the set that this image I sent you is relatively new.
I'm gonna say it seems like a lot of people will play this card in every deck, I think. So
okay.
It feels like it's a staple or something. I don't know. I'll say $5.
So it's 80 cents. I actually only recently came across this card. I have never seen this card played on Magic Arena. I've never seen it played by like people that I've fought against. I don't know if that's just because I've just never run across it, but I don't think it's that common just because I haven't really seen it. Yeah, so 12 mana is a lot of mana. Now, granted, it costs 2 less. Yeah, I get it costs 2 less for each card in your creature in your graveyard, but 12 is still pretty. Like, you're not getting this out early game.
Yeah.
All right.
Got it.
The next card is called Godsend. It is a equipment card, which means you can equip it to a creature, and it says equipped creature gets +3/+3, and whenever equipped creature blocks or becomes blocked by one or more creatures, you may exile one of those creatures. Opponents can't cast cards with the same name as cards exiled with Godsend.
It seems like a broken card.
Yeah, so let me explain this a little bit. In Magic, you can declare your attackers. So you can declare that one or more creatures are attacking, and you don't get to pick, because I know this is different in Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't get to pick where it goes. When you declare an attacker, it defaults to your opponent unless they have a Planeswalker out, which I'll explain what a Planeswalker is later. But then the opponent gets to choose if they want to block that creature with another creature, like with one of their creatures. Assuming that they can, because there are ways to make your stuff unblockable, or something with flying can't be blocked unless that creature is flying or reach. So they get to choose if they want to block or not. And so if their creature comes into contact with your creature while your creature has this card equipped, that card gets sent to the exile, which is kind of like what you were saying in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like the banished zone.
The banish.
It's basically that. So it's almost impossible to get that card back. And if that happens, the opponent can no longer cast any card with the same name. So in Commander, that's not that big of a deal because you can only have one of each card anyways. But in Standard, you can have 4 of each card. So if you play a card and I exile it with this card, and it's you cannot play any of the other 3 cards with the same name. Now that also applies to Commanders, because Commanders, if they die, will go straight back to the command zone if you choose to let it go there. And you can summon it again for 2 extra mana. If I block your commander with this card, you can no longer cast your commander.
There is a very similar card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Let me send it to you so you can have it in the video. Called Crossout Designator. This card is very good to counter like the hand traps. The concept of the hand traps, and it's also very strong in like mirror match. If you both play the same deck and you activate something that I have, I can just activate this card, which let me banish the same card that you played and negate it.
Okay.
It's very similar. It's almost the same card.
All right. So what do you think about it?
I think this card is healthy. I think it's allowed. It's not banned, but I
No,
think
it's
it's
it's not
kind of
banned.
expensive.
What
Yeah, I
what would you
think it
say the
could be
price is?
expensive. Let's say the copy is about 10-ish.
Almost. It's about 850.
Yeah, yeah, it's similar prices to Cross Out too.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
All
they even
right.
have sword and everything.
Yeah, right. Okay,
Yeah,
so this next one. Oh, wait, real quick. Do you think I play Godsend?
I mean, it seems like, I mean, in your format, I don't think you need it because one copy is not going to be. Am I right?
I play this card. So, um, it's a really good card. It's
Mm,
only 3 mana cost, and it's only 3 to equip, which that's 6 in total, so that's a decent amount. But
mm,
it's a pretty good card, and I tend to like to theme my decks. I don't necessarily go for like the most optimal builds. I like to theme my stuff, and in the lore, this weapon is the weapon of one of my favorite, probably my favorite planeswalker, which is Elspeth.
okay.
So I like to theme my decks, and so yeah, I do play this card.
Okay. Okay.
So this next one is one of my all-time favorites, and you're gonna see why here in a second. Um,
Mm.
where'd you go? Where'd you go? Am I blind? Oh, there she is. Okay, so this one is Iona, Shield of Emeria. She is an angel. 9 mana cost, by the way. She is a 7/7 with flying. As long as, or as Iona, Shield of Emeria enters the battlefield, I choose a color. Your opponents can't cast spells of the chosen color.
It seems good.
Uh huh. So basically, I was explaining the color wheel. There are 5 colors. So
Yeah, yeah.
typically,
So you can basically pick a color that they can play.
yeah, typically your decks are going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 colors, usually 2 or 3 colors. Sometimes you'll see people running a monocolored deck, so just one color.
Mm.
If I play this card and they have a 2-color deck, I'm disabling over half of their deck. So even if it's a multicolored spell like Kalia, where she was 3 colors, you can't
Okay.
cast it. If I choose black, Kalia has black in it, you cannot cast Kalia. So if you're running a monocolored deck, I'm basically shutting down your entire deck and you can no
Yeah,
longer
the
play the
entire
game.
deck.
I
Yeah.
basically just win.
Yep. Mm.
So, what do you think of this card?
I think it's too broken.
Do you think it's banned?
Like it can. I. There's no limit in Magic, right?
What do you mean?
Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, you can just limit cards for one.
Okay, in Commander, you can only have one of each card.
Okay. I'll say it's banned.
Yeah, this card is banned.
Yeah, it seems
Yeah.
too broken.
Disabling that, like a single color, is pretty busted. Now, how much do you think this card costs?
I mean, it's a banned card. It's not gonna be that much expensive. Maybe like $2-3.
It's $5.60.
Damn. Okay.
Now, I told you earlier that I do play a couple banned cards in one of my decks. Do you think, or actually in a couple of my decks, do you think I play this card?
100%. Of course, you play this card.
Yeah, I have this card in a counter deck, a white, blue, and black counter deck, and people get pissed
Yeah.
off at me. Now, keep in mind for the viewers, I don't go to tournaments with this deck. I only play this deck with people who allow me to play. I let them know that I have this card in the deck before I play it.
You let them know that you're gonna screw them up with
Yeah,
turning
so-
off their entire deck. Yeah.
So Commander's not like a super competitive playstyle. It's a social playstyle. So
Yeah.
a lot of the times you're gonna be playing like house rules and stuff. So if people allow it, then yeah, you can play it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This next one. Where are you? There you are. This is Nicol Bolas, the God Pharaoh.
I think I've seen this card before.
Probably. He's one of the faces of magic. This is a planeswalker. So a planeswalker is different from a creature. It doesn't attack, it can't block, but instead what you can do is it has these, you see these pluses and minus and whatnot.
Okay.
So once per turn, you can activate one of these abilities, and if you activate like a plus ability, you see the number at the very bottom, the 7?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's his loyalty. So you can kind of think of it as like his life, because if his loyalty hits 0, he dies. So he goes to the graveyard. So if you activate a plus ability, it adds to the loyalty. If you use a minus ability, it takes away from the loyalty. So I'm gonna have to load this up because the words are pretty small. So it says the first ability +2, target opponent exiles cards from the bottom, or sorry. Exiles cards from the top of his or her library until he or she exiles a non-land card. Until end of turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. The +1 says each opponent exiles 2 cards from his or her hand. And then the -4 says Nickabol's God Pharaoh deals 7 damage to target opponent or creature an opponent controls. And the -12 says exile each non-land permanent your opponent controls. What do you think of this card?
I don't think this card is banned.
No, it's not banned.
Yeah.
How much do you think it costs?
Why is it called Pharaoh?
So, okay, a little bit of lore. In the set of Amonkhet, it's an Egyptian-themed set. It's one of my favorites. It's the one that I started with when I started the game. Nickabolus. So planeswalkers can travel from plane to plane, from the different worlds. That's why they're called planeswalkers. So like they can travel through the dimensions. He came to Amonkhet and like took over the world. So he's like he made himself the dictator of the world, basically. Yeah, that's why he's called God Pharaoh.
I will say, like, since it's called like something like the face of the game, like a popular card, they're usually not that expensive. So I'll say it's between 5 to 10.
He is $4.20.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you say whether or not it was banned or not?
No, it's not banned.
Yeah, it's not banned. Now, do you think I run this card?
I will say yes.
No, I don't. I despise all of the Nickabolus cards because they're really fucking annoying to fight. Every time my opponent has it, I am furious and I am targeting it with everything I've got.
Wow.
Yeah, I hate the Nickabolus. They're really good cards. I just hate fighting them.
Yeah.
So, this next one is a pretty nutty card. It's got an effect that's pretty wild. And I've only fought it once, and it was really annoying. There it is. Alright, this is called Progenitus. As you can see...
Is that dragon with five heads?
It's a Hydra.
5-headed dragon?
Yeah, it's a Hydra. So, 2 white, 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, and 2 green. So 10 mana. It is a 10/10, and it has protection from everything. If Progenitus would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal it and shuffle it into its owner's library instead. Do you need me to explain what protection from everything means?
I think this card... I can see it's strong. They're very strong. But...
So hold on, let me explain what protection does. So if a card says protection from something, it means it has complete immunity to it. So usually that'll say like protection from blue or protection from creatures. You know, it'll say protection from something specific. This specific card says protection from everything. That means nothing in the game can affect this card. Nothing in the game.
It's probably banned.
Yeah, so this is a really busted card, but this card is not banned in Commander. You can play this card in Commander.
Okay.
How much do you think it costs?
Say 20.
$5.45.
Damn, it looks so cool.
It does. Do you think I play this card?
Just because it's too broken, I think it can play in any deck. Why not?
No, I don't play it. I theme my stuff, and I don't have anything Hydra themed. I'm not a big fan
Oh,
of.
it's themed. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're cool. It's just not my. It's not my kind of. It's not my cup of tea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, next. So, this is gonna be an interesting one. This is called Black Lotus. It's a really old card. It is from the first
Why does the
set
card look different?
because it's really old. So this card,
It's probably too expensive.
it's 0 mana to get out. It costs nothing to get out. You can just play it. And it says add 3 mana of any single color of your choice to your mana pool. Then you have to sacrifice it.
It seems generic. I don't know, this like the art, like the card style seems too old. So I think the card is just too expensive. First of all.
Okay.
Whether if it's allowed or no. Let me add 3 mana of any single color to of your choice. Nah, I think it's banned.
Yeah, this card is banned. This card is busted as fuck. If you have this in your opening hand, turn 1, you just free 3 mana.
Yeah, it's definitely, yeah.
How much do you think it costs?
Did it get like any reprint with the same style or?
I think they did. But the original one's going to be priced differently than a reprint.
Okay, so we're talking about the original one, right?
Yes, this is the original art for the card.
Okay, so maybe 1,000 plus.
So technically, yes, it's over $1,000. Do you wanna give me a rough like range?
I mean, there is there is a Yu-Gi-Oh card that costs 3,000. So I'll say similar. Like, I mean, but wait, it's banned. So I actually think 1,000 is a lot for a banned card that you can't really play. But for collection, I'll say 3,000.
So this is the most expensive card in Magic the Gathering. Right now, it is going for $21,000.
What?
$21,000. That's 3 zeros after 21.
The card is banned.
Yep.
Okay.
It's for collectors. Alrighty, moving on. So this next one is the brother of Nicobolus, the God Pharaoh dragon. This is his brother in the lore. So Nicobolus is considered evil in the lore. He does a lot of bad things. His brother is considered good. His name is Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. He is also a Planeswalker. 8 mana. His +2 says Ugin, the Spirit Dragon, deals 3 damage to target creature or player. He has a -X, so you get to choose the number. Exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less. That's 1 or more colors. And then his -10 says you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, then put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield.
That sounds broken.
I'd say it's pretty good, but I wouldn't say it's broken. You definitely see Nicobolas be played a lot more than Ugin.
I'll say, yeah, so probably not banned.
No, it is not banned. It is legal to play. At least in Commander.
Okay. And whether if you play it or not, I don't think you play this card.
No, I don't. I don't typically play a lot of dragons unless it's in my Kalia deck, and even then it's not a whole lot.
Yeah. And for the price, probably let's say 5 to 10.
Ugin the Spear Dragon costs $27.30.
Why?
I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it's a pretty decent card, but it's probably for collector reasons. I mean, lore-wise, he's he's one of the brothers, the two dragons. So,
okay.
Alrighty. Next, this card. So this is an interesting card. All of the cards I've shown you are what's called a black border card. You have two other borders. You have silver border and you have white border. White border typically just means it's an older card. Silver bordered cards are... I'll explain after a little bit, but this is considered a silver bordered card. It is called Infinity Elemental. Its power is infinite. And that's all it is. It just has infinite power.
What does that mean?
It means if I were to swing this card at you, it does infinite damage.
So you win.
If I hit your life total, yes, I win.
So
you can
like
still block
Yugioh.
it. I mean, so the downside is you can still block it. This thing does not have trample, and in order for, because I know in Yu-Gi-Oh it's a little bit different, but if I attack with this card and my opponent blocks, if my opponent's creature has like a power of 6 or greater, it will kill this card. So this card will one-tap anything as long as it's not indestructible. But you can still block it, which means I would have to make this card unblockable in order to instantly kill you.
And you can play around that. I don't think this card is allowed. Infinite Super. Especially that, like, with Exodia, there are 5 pieces to form it. This is just a 1 card. I think it's banned.
Yeah, this card is banned, but not because of the infinite power. Yes, there's a lot of ways to build a deck around making this card, like, unblockable. But there's also a lot of ways around it. You can counter target spell when you play it. You can destroy target creature. There's a lot of ways around it. But the reason it's banned is because it's a silver-bordered card. Silver-bordered cards in Magic are considered like silly cards. They're like joke cards. They're not considered like actual like playable cards. Now, if you really wanted to build a deck around it and the people in your house or, you know, play group want to play them, you know, by all means go for it. But no, this is not legal. How much do you think it costs?
So this is an old print, right? Like the white border is no longer available anymore.
Well, it's silver border, so this print wasn't too long ago. I mean, it's not new by any means, but it wasn't that long. This card came out while I was playing, so within the 7 years that I was playing Magic.
I'll say it's...
I know because I own this card.
You have it?
I do own this card. I don't play it because it's silver bordered, but I do own it.
Okay. I'll say it's 50.
30 cents.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
Alrighty. Next card. Where are you? There you are. Alright, this is called Door to Nothingness. It is a 5 mana cost artifact. Door to Nothingness enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap 2 of each color, so 10 mana, and then tap it and sacrifice it, and target player loses the game.
Okay, I don't think... Let me read again.
Alrighty.
Sacrifice or something, target player lose the game. Lose the game?
Yeah. Target player loses the game.
I think it's banned.
You would be wrong. This card is perfectly legal to play. In fact, Volume has a deck with this card in it.
What the hell?
Yep. How much do you think this card costs?
I don't think it's expensive based on the art. I'll say it's $1.
50 cents.
Yeah.
Do you think I play this card?
No.
No, I don't. I have my other win conditions that I like. I tend to stick with the stuff that I like. Next card. There you are. Alright, this is Paradox Engine. This card is 5 to cast. It's a legendary artifact. It says, whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents you control.
Paradox Engine. Whenever you cast a spell, untap all the non-land permanents you control.
Yeah, so permanents are anything that stays on the field, so like a creature, an artifact, an enchantment, things that just stay on the field. Lands stay on the field, they're considered permanents, but most things will tell you whether or not it's land or non-land. So yeah.
So, like, in every deck there is, like... I don't get it.
So
like the counter to this is like in every deck or is generic?
So okay. If you have this on the field and I cast something, a spell is anything you cast. So it can be anything that's not a land as long as it's being cast. Whenever you cast something, you just untap everything on your field basically.
So it negates everything on the field.
Well no. It just gives you room to do more things the more stuff that you cast. So I will say this card easily allows you to spam a bunch of shit. So there are these things called mana rocks, which are artifacts that tap for mana, kind of like how land taps for mana. And if you build a deck around this, you can have a bunch of mana rocks, and every time you cast a spell, you can untap all of those mana rocks, and now you just have a bunch of almost infinite mana if you play it right. You can just keep doing this.
I think it is banned.
Yes, this card is banned. How much do you think it costs?
Banned cards usually should be cheap, but I'll say $3.
$6.
Okay.
Do you think I play this card?
It's banned. Oh, but you said that you can. I will say... Oh.
I do play this card. I have it in a Narset deck, and I'll show you Narset later. Yeah, so this one and Iona are the only two banned cards I play with. And again, I do let people know that I have it in the deck.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a really, really busted card if you know how to, like, play around with it. And in my Narset deck, yeah, I have set it up so I can just spam basically an unlimited amount of spells. Yeah, it's nutty and wild, but, I mean, that's the charm of the reason why I built that deck. Okay, so this next card... where are you? There you are. This is called Prismatic Bridge. Now, this card has two sides. There's a flip card. But the flip side doesn't matter for this card for right now. I will say this is one of Volume's commanders. It's a legendary enchantment. And you can run this as a commander, even though it's not a creature, and that's wild to me, but, you know, I don't make the rules. It's one of each color, and it says, at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature or a planeswalker card. Put that card onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So every single turn, you basically get a free random creature from the top of your library. Every turn.
That seems... At the beginning of your... Let's see. So this is like a spell, right?
So it's a permanent. Yes, it's a spell because you have to cast it, but it's a permanent, so it stays on the field. So every single turn, you get, because of the effect, you get a free creature. You don't have to pay the mana cost for it.
I think it's banned.
No, this is not banned. It's one of the most popular commanders out there. Volume uses it, and it is busted. I hate this card. It is a really good card, but
Yeah,
it's
too
really
good.
popular.
What the
How much do you think it costs?
hell? Just because of how broken it is, let's say it's $50.
$18.
18?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Okay. Next up is right here. This is Omniscience. It's 10 mana to cast. It's an enchantment, so it's a permanent, so it stays on the field. It says you may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. So basically, every spell I cast is free. I don't have to pay any mana for it.
This has to be banned.
Nope, this card is legal.
How?
I don't know. This card is broken as fuck. Okay.
So you play 4 of this? Then what's the point of mana existing in the game when you have this enabled?
So in standard, okay, this card's not legal in standard, but that's because it's an older card.
Oh.
In standard, you can have 4 of any card. In standard games, your game's not going to last long enough to pay the 10 mana anyways. And by the time you do, you're going to be pretty close to the end of the game. So this card really wouldn't be optimal to play anyways, unless you specifically ran a deck built around it. But in Commander, you can run this card. It is really expensive. 10 mana is a lot of mana to pay to get this out. But if you can get it out, it's busted. It's legal. Yeah, it's kind of wild. How much do you think it costs?
I'll say similar to the previous one. Let's say at least 20.
$9.20.
Damn. Okay.
Do you think I run this card?
I think you have to. It seems like a staple card.
I do run it in the same deck that I have Paradox Engine in.
Yeah.
Alrighty, next
It's
card.
too good.
We should be getting close to the end. This is Beacon of Tomorrows. It's a sorcery, so it does not stay on the field. This is basically the same thing as your spell cards. You once you play it, it goes straight to the graveyard. However, this card's a little special. So 8 mana, so that's quite a bit of mana. Target player takes an extra turn after this one, then shuffle Beacon of Tomorrows into its owner's library. So if you play this card, you get to take an extra turn, which is pretty good. Taking an extra turn is considered really good in Magic. But then you shuffle this card back into your library, so you have a chance to play it again later.
I think it's not banned.
Yeah, this card's legal. You can play this card in Commander.
Yeah.
How much do you think it costs?
I think it's $5 average.
It's $1.50.
Damn, okay.
It's a pretty good card. But again, that 8 mana cost is pretty high up there, so... But yeah. Do you think I run this card?
I don't think you run this card.
I do run this card in the same deck that I run Omniscience and Paradox Engine.
Okay.
Yeah, that deck's kind of wild. So let me give you a little bit of context, right? With Omniscience, if I can cast any spell for free, that means I can cast Beacon of Tomorrow for free.
Yeah.
I'll show you the Commander. That's the last card I'm going to show you. Or not the last card, sorry. One of the last cards I'm going to show you, and it'll make sense why I run this deck. Alright, this next card is a demon, and it is... Where? Oh, there you are. It is called Master of Cruelties. It is 5 mana cost, a 1/4. It has First Strike and Death Touch. First Strike means whenever this thing deals damage, it always deals damage first. So if you block with another creature, this creature's combat goes through before your creature's combat goes through. Death Touch means that if it comes in contact with another creature, that creature will automatically die. Master of Cruelties can only attack alone, so you cannot attack with any other creature if you attack with this creature. And whenever Master of Cruelties attacks a player and is not blocked, that player's life total becomes 1, and Master of Cruelties does not assign combat damage. So if I attack with this card and I attack you directly, your life total becomes 1, and then no more damage goes through. So your life total will just sit at 1 until I can get you down below 1.
I think this card is not banned.
It is not banned. You can play this card in Commander.
Yeah.
How busted would you say this card is?
I think it's too broken. I think it's really good.
It's really good, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's broken. As long as you block this card, it does. It's not really like that big of a threat as long as you can block it. The downside is the combination of First Strike and Death Touch. First off, you never see that those two as a combination because that combination's pretty good. So First Strike means it always does damage first, and the Death Touch is insta-death. So even though it's only got 1 power, whatever it touches, it kills. And as long as the other creature doesn't have First Strike, it's going to kill anything. It can kill a 20/20. And it'll survive. So it is a really good card, but I wouldn't say it's like busted, unless you run a specific combo, and I'll explain that combo in a different video.
I don't think you played it though.
Is it because it's a demon?
Yeah, probably.
I do play this card in my Kalia deck for a specific reason.
No way.
And I'll explain that reason in a different video.
How much it costs? Probably $7 to $8.
$4.30.
Damn.
Yep.
Okay.
Alrighty, this next card is a board wipe. You were showing me in your video some of the board wipes you have over Yugioh. In Magic the Gathering, we have a fuck ton, and I mean a metric fuck ton of board wipes. This one, or no, this one's not. I don't think this one would be considered necessarily a board wipe, but it's in the same like ballpark. I will be showing you some board wipes. Where the fuck did I put it? I wish these pictures saved in order, but they did not. Oh wait, I think it's right here. All right, Cruel Ultimatum. 2 blue, 3 black, and 2 red. Target opponent sacrifices a creature, discards 3 cards, then loses 5 life. You return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, draw 3 cards, then gain 5 life. So not really a board wipe, but it has cards like brother cards that are board wipes.
I think it's not banned.
Nope, it is not banned. You can play this card.
Yeah, I don't think you play it.
I do not play it. No, it's not my my color set.
Yeah, and for cost, I'll say $2.
35 cents. It's a really good card, and it's really annoying. I've had it used against me a few times. It is really annoying when they play this card. But yeah, no, I don't play it. I'm not a big fan of it, personally. All right, this next one is a board wipe. This is the one I was thinking of when I said I was going to play it. I was going to show you a board wipe. But it is a sister card to that one because it is a Ruinous Ultimatum, whereas the other one was Cruel Ultimatum. This one's 2 red, 3 white, and 2 black, and it just says destroy all non-land permanents your opponents control.
I think this card is also not banned.
Yeah, it's not banned. You can play this.
Yeah, and I think you play it.
I do play it.
And for the price, probably around the same, like $1 or $2.
Actually, $4, so quite a bit more.
Okay.
This is considered to be one of the better board wipes. It's pretty good, pretty busted, because it only affects your opponents. Most board wipes also affect you.
Yep.
All right, next is another board wipe. And it says, it's Urza's Ruinous Blast, 5 mana. Exile all non-land permanents that aren't legendary.
Exile. I think this card is banned.
Nope, this card is not banned. You can play this in Commander.
Whether you play it or not, I think you play it.
I do have it, but I currently took it out of a deck because I'm rebuilding that deck. But I do have this card.
So how much it costs is probably $1 or something.
It's 30 cents. It's not like super crazy, just because it also affects your stuff. But what you would want to do with this is build a deck with a lot of legendary permanents, so that when you play it, it doesn't hurt you as much as it hurts your opponent. All right, next is a mono red card, and it is Comet Storm. It has a multi-kicker 1, which means you can just pay 1 mana multiple times, as many times as you want, as long as you have the mana. And each time you do it, it then increases the value of the card. So I don't know if you notice it has an X in it. So this card says choose any target, then choose another target for each time the spell is kicked. So if I wanted to target like 10 things, all I have to do is tap 10 extra mana, which is a lot, but you tap 10 mana and you can target 10 different things, and then it deals X damage to each of them. And that is, the X is paid for by the X in the mana cost. So if I pay 10 mana, then the extra 2 reds, and then kick it 10 times, I will do 10 damage to 10 things.
10 damage to 10 things, including the opponent's life points?
You can target that, yes.
This has to be banned.
It says any target. No, this is not banned. You can play this card.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, what's the price?
I'll say $5.
75 cents. Do you think I run this card?
No.
I do actually run this card. So I'll spoil the combo with this. I have a card that gives me mana equal to my life total, and the way the deck works is I give myself a bunch of life, then I use that card that gives me mana equal to my life total, and then I can just do an absurd amount of damage to whatever I want with this card. I have killed 2 people in the same turn with this combo.
Wait, you did what?
I killed 2 opponents at the same time on like turn 3. No, it wasn't turn 3. It was like turn 5 or something like that. And I killed both of them at the same time with this card.
In the game?
Yeah. Yeah, they were pretty upset. But they were more amazed than anything. They were like, "How the fuck did you do that?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Yeah, it's like a burn deck. The burn also exists in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I think Darkspawn, I think plays burn deck in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so this card is called Traumatize. It is 5 mana. It says target player puts the top half of his or her library rounded down into his or her graveyard. So half of your library just gone.
Oh.
Yeah, half of your deck is just gone.
There's no way this is allowed. It has to be banned.
Nope, this is legal.
How?
There's actually more than just this card that does very similar things. Making people get rid of their library is actually very common, and right now is actually really popular. People love mill decks. So yeah, no, this would be something that people would put into a mill deck.
Okay.
How much do you think it costs?
I'd say $4.
$9. Do you think I play this card?
No.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not a big fan of making people mill shit. It's just not my thing. But people do it to me all the time. All right. Now this one, you're gonna notice, is one of my favorite cards because it's an angel. This is a Platinum Angel. It is a 7 mana cost, 4/4. Flying, you can't lose the game, and your opponents cannot win the game.
So you're playing forever.
As long as this card sits on the field, I cannot lose and my opponents cannot win. My opponents can still lose and I can still win, but it's just they can't win and I can't lose. As long as this card remains on the field.
This card is not banned.
It's not banned. There are lots of ways to get rid of it. If I play it, somebody can just either counter it or they can target it with a burn spell or something. It's not that hard to get rid of it. Now, obviously, I do play this card. It's an angel. But usually what I do is I stack defenses so that it's really hard for people to get rid of it. So I'll make it like to where they can't target it. I'll make it indestructible. I'll just, build up my board state to make it to where it's really hard to kill it. How much do you think it costs?
I'll say $30.
$3.80.
Damn, only 10 times less.
All right, we're coming up on the last 3 cards. Now, this card, remember I told you I was going to show you the commander to the deck I had with all those broken cards in it?
Mm-hmm.
So this is Narset Enlightened Master. This was the very first commander deck I ever built, and I built it because it was red, white, and blue, and I thought it was a pretty cool looking card. Now, when I first built this deck, I did not build it right. This card is a 3/2, has First Strike and Hexproof. Hexproof just means it can't be targeted, so if a card says destroy target creature, you can't do it because it can't be targeted. But whenever Narset Enlightened Master attacks, exile the top 4 cards of your library. Until the end of turn, you may cast non-creature cards exiled with Narset this turn without paying their mana cost. So, when I first built this deck, I put creatures in the deck. So if I exiled those four cards with Narset and there were creatures, they are exiled forever. I cannot get them back. I have rebuilt this deck many, many a times after realizing my mistake, and there is not a single creature card in the deck. It is only non-creatures, which is why those other cards are in the deck, right? So with Narset, I can just cast any of those 4 cards, as long as it's not a land, for free, which means I can get Omniscience out for free, Beacon of Tomorrow out for free, Paradox Engine out for free, and every time I cast a spell with Paradox Engine on the field, I untap everything, which means if I get the right cards out, which happens most of the time with this deck, I can just spam my entire deck for free, and there's nothing my opponent can do about it.
Of course, it's not banned, right?
Yeah, this card is not banned. You can't play. It used to be a really popular commander. I don't think it is anymore, but it used to be it's an older card. How much do you think it costs?
Probably 20.
25 cents. Yep.
Okay.
All right, second to the last card. This card, where is it? Where'd it go? I swear I was just looking at it. Oh, there it is. All right, this is Doomsday. 3 black mana. Search your library and graveyard for 5 cards and exile the rest. Put the chosen cards on top of your library in any order. You lose half your life, rounded up. So basically, I choose 5 cards and then exile all the other cards in my deck.
Wait, so, random 5 cards or just
Well, I get to
You
pick. I
pick
get to
them.
pick what 5 cards. But
Wow.
basically, those 5 cards become my new library. That's it. Just 5 cards, and I lose half of my life rounded up.
So first of all, I think this card is banned.
No, it's legal. You can run this card.
Shit. You don't run this card?
I do run this card in my Kalia deck. So, I have a combo in that deck that I'm not going to give out right now. If I manage to pull it off, will make me really unkillable, so though losing half my life isn't really that big of a deal. And the way the combo works, I will win the game within the 5 cards. So before I mill out, I will win the game. Now, this doesn't always work. It's a little iffy. It's not the best. Like, it's not the most. It's not guaranteed, but it's kind of like a. I don't know. It's a weird combo that I have. I just think it's a really cool combo. It's not guaranteed, but I can win the game this way. All right, are you ready to see the last card?
Yep.
This is my favorite card in the entire game. Okay, so it's an angel.
Of course.
This is Avacyn, Angel of Hope. 8
I think I've seen
mana.
this card before. It looks so good. What the hell?
Yeah, you've probably seen it because I've probably used it in something. I have the art for this in my intro in the only Magic video I've ever made.
Okay.
She's an 8/8. She has Flying, Vigilance, and Indestructible. So Flying means she can only be blocked by other creatures with Flying or creatures with Reach. Vigilance means whenever she attacks, she doesn't tap, so she just stays untapped. And she has Indestructible, which means she cannot be destroyed. She also has an effect that says other permanents you control have Indestructible. So when I have her on the field, my entire field, including my lands, are indestructible. And she's an 8/8.
I don't think it's banned.
No, she used to be banned back in the day, but they unbanned her.
Okay, great. Of course you play.
Yeah, this is my favorite card. I own several copies of this card. I have her in almost every single one of my decks.
I think it's about $40.
$45. Oh, you're breaking up. Hold on, what'd you say?
I said I got.
Uh-oh. We're having difficulties. Torgi's breaking up. He sounds like a robot. Can you hear me? I cannot hear you. You're breaking up really bad. Okay, yeah, you basically got it right. Yeah, well, it's a good thing you started breaking up right at the end of the video. But yeah, go ahead and check out Torg's channel. There's a link in the description below to his video. Go watch that video. That's where I'm going to be reacting to his Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This was a lot of fun to do, and I want to do a lot more of these videos. So yeah, if you like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Star Rail content, go to Torg's channel. I'm going to be doing Magic the Gathering on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you.